Nigeria makes a case for sustained technical support from the international community to address the challenges of climate change.
All the identified agents that participated in the suspended primary election of 5th of May 2018 are disqualified.
All Progressive Congress rescheduled Ekiti governorship primary. And Pan-African Parliament is concerned about the non-ratification of African Free Trade Agreement. Hello, and thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Bimbo Loyede in Abuja. Michael Olaleye joins us from Lagos. In Jos, we have Mariam Adura, while Chegonu Aro is in Enugu. Nigeria has made a case for sustained financial, technical and capacity building support from the international community towards mitigating the adverse effects of climate change in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari made this known while receiving letters of credence from 3 new envoys. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has details.
A befitting diplomatic ceremony was organized at the forecourt of the State House to formally welcome the new envoys as they begin official responsibilities in Nigeria on behalf of their respective countries. The envoys who presented their letters of credence to President Muhammadu Buhari are Robert Jan Petri, Ambassador of the Netherlands, Mr. Pule Mpothwe, the High Commissioner of the Republic of Botswana, and Hossam Diab, the Ambassador of Lebanon. President Muhammadu Buhari said the federal government would continue to vigorously pursue the replenishment of Lake Chad through various means, including an option of interbasin water transfer from the Ubangi River in Central Africa. This, he said, is necessary because the drying up of Lake Chad has impacted negatively on the lives and livelihoods of over 40 million people in the Chad Basin. The president welcomed the interest shown by some Nigerian doctoral students in the Netherlands in developing the nation's livestock subsector through research and innovation. Exchanging views with the Lebanese ambassador to Nigeria, President Buhari commended Lebanon for its commitment to security and stability in the Middle East, as well as assistance to Syrian refugees. In their separate remarks, the envoys applauded the existing cordial relations between Nigeria and their respective countries, but called for increased trade and economic cooperation. The Dutch ambassador to Nigeria in particular said his country is willing to offer its expertise in agriculture to Nigeria as the second largest exporter of food in the world after the United States. On his part, Mr. Mpothwe of Botswana announced that several companies from his country had indicated interest to invest in Nigeria's mining, agriculture, sports, and creative arts sectors. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari is now in London, the British capital, on a 4-day visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president departed Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, this afternoon. He was seen off by the Minister of the FCT, Mohammed Musa Bello, his Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari, the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, and other senior government officials. While in London, President Buhari is expected to see his doctor.
A section of the media reported that the president is going to London for emergency medical treatment.
No, but that would be quite untrue. There is no emergency about it at all. You saw the president himself. He walked on his feet into the plane, and earlier this morning he had received letters of credence from 3 ambassadors. So there's no emergency. It's more of a routine medical assessment.
So there's nothing to worry about?
Absolutely nothing. You know, any human being can fall ill and can recover. Our president fell ill last year, he recovered. And when you are that ill, it was serious illness, he himself said it, that he had never been that ill in his life. Now, that kind of illness, you need a review from time to time. So what is going for now is a medical review, nothing to worry about.
President Buhari is expected back on Saturday to keep a date with his two-day state visit to Jigawa on Monday and Tuesday next week. The official state visit by President Muhammadu Buhari to the United States of America has been described as apt and rewarding. On NTA's program, Good Morning Nigeria, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyama, highlighted the gains of the visit. Kunle Adeyeye reports.
Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, said the personality of the President endeared him to President Trump, adding that discussions between the two leaders principally addressed major issues on how to recover Nigeria's stolen funds in the United States.
We had issues with Americans in the past. They didn't sell weapons to Nigerians. And Mr. Trump in that clip, well, if you had shown the entire thing, you would have seen where he said, look, it's all available for you now. It's open. Whatever you want, we will sell to you.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyama, on his part, said the president used the opportunity of the visit to clear the air about some misjudgments about Nigeria.
We had meetings on the sidelines with the top, top CEOs of the top U.S. companies, those investing in Nigeria, and then another group of CEOs of agricultural companies. So there again, you know, we identified areas and opportunities for further investment.
Both men said strategies are in place to follow up on agreements reached by the two leaders. In Abuja, Kunle Adeyeye, NTA News.
A Nigerian Air Force Alpha jet aircraft has neutralized scores of Boko Haram terrorists while providing close air support to ground troops. A statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Olatokunbo Adesonya, indicates that the successful airstrike was in response to information from the General Officer commanding 8th Division of the Nigerian Army. The troops conducting clearance operations at Koleram in Niger Republic had come in contact with Boko Haram terrorists. The crew of a NAF intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance aircraft established contact with ground troops and guided the Alpha Jet aircraft crew to the major source of attack from the Boko Haram terrorist settlement. The Nigerian Air Force says the Air Task Force will continue to conduct missions on request in support of troops in the counter-insurgency operations in the northeast. The governor of Bauchi State, Muhammad Abubakar, says the recent National Economic Council's approval of $1 billion from the excess crude account to fund the acquisition of arms for the Nigerian military is a step in the right direction, considering emerging security challenges in the country. The governor said this at the opening ceremony of the Nigerian Army Combat Training Week 2018. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has the details.
This Eagle main battle tank, with the capacity of destroying both close and long-range enemy, is among military hardware on display at the 2018 Combat Arms Training Week, in view of the dynamism in the emerging internal and external security threats.
As efforts are being sustained at the highest levels to modernize the Nigerian Army, it is also imperative for the combat arms and indeed all other components of the Nigerian Army to continue to look inwards and make the best use of available resources.
With serving and retired officers in attendance, the program is a platform for sharing of ideas and innovations in the quest to transform the Nigerian Army's combat efficiency.
It is obvious that the current security challenges in the country are volatile, requiring the use of both hard and soft power and multifaceted strategies to effectively tackle it. I would like to commend President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, for providing the visionary leadership to transform the Nigerian army.
The week-long event is focused on maintaining all-round combat readiness through improved equipment, training and troops welfare. From Bauchi, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The House of Representatives at Tuesday plenary passed at second reading a bill for an act to repeal the Terrorism Prevention Act of 2011. Our National Assembly correspondent, Kenneth Nanim, has the report.
The Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Bill, sponsored by Representative Kayode Oladele from Ogun State, seeks to provide measures for the prohibition, prevention and combating of terrorist activities in Nigeria.
We now have the offense of hostage-taking, kidnapping and hijacking as part of the offenses included in the Acts of Terrorism in the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Bill.
Other members who deliberated on the provisions of the bill commended the initiative, as the bill is critical to addressing the current security challenges in parts of the country.
It seeks to incorporate the relevant sections on terrorism in one bill.
The issue of bail, the issue of fair hearing for even the accused persons is very, very important. It's a matter for the prosecuting agencies, and I hope that this will also be incorporated in this law.
We must incorporate the human rights angle into this bill.
They must consider in the nitty-gritty of the bill how we can take care of our borders that are porous.
Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. Ayes have it. Bill is referred to Committee on National Security and Intelligence.
The House, however, dissolved to the Committee of the Whole to consider and adopt the report by the House Committee on Federal Capital Territory on a bill for an act to establish the Federal Capital Territory Emergency Management Agency. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Senate has resolved to mandate the Committee on Communications to invite GSM operators and the industry's supervisory agencies to seek ways of addressing intrusive and unsolicited adverts by telecommunication companies and service providers. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
Mindful of the continued deterioration of GSM services in the country, the Senate noted that though the service providers have been reaping huge revenues from their investments, Nigerians have not enjoyed commensurate quality of services.
Increased incidents of dropped calls, unaccounted disappearance of airtime from devices, weak signals across networks, and false reports of unavailable call destinations.
What we saw later is a complete deviation from what I can call the anticipated rules of engagement between these companies and Nigerians.
The Senate has resolved to initiate a stakeholders' public hearing by the relevant committee for discourse on the proposed excise tariff increment on the beverages industry.
Beverages industry, which is one of the oldest surviving sectors, presently employs about 250,000 Nigerians directly, is under real threat of extinction due to the proposed astronomical tariff hike.
The Senate also resolved to invite service chiefs for discussion on ways to stop proliferation of illegal firearms. A letter from President Muhammadu Buhari requesting for the screening and confirmation of chairman and members of the governing board of the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation. The communication was read at plenary by President of the Senate.
Chief Olabode Akim Mustafa, Chairman, Ogun State, Southwest. Alhaji Garba Buba, Member, Bauchi. Bello Garba, Member, Sokoto State. Brigadier General Joseph O.J. Okalogu, Member, Enugu. Mustafa Adewale Mujashiru, Member, Kwara. Barrister Festus A. Kiamo, Member, Delta. Mr. Adewale W. Adeleke, Member, Ondo State.
In a similar development, President Muhammadu Buhari has forwarded to the Senate the name of Atahiru Garba for confirmation as a replacement for resident electoral commissioner from Niger State. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NT News.
The Pan-African Parliament has opened in Midrand, South Africa, with legislators expressing disappointment over the non-ratification of the African Free Trade Agreement signed by 44 countries in March 2018. Ignatius Nkwo from Johannesburg tells us more.
Behind me are parliamentarians from more than 40 African Union countries who have gathered here for the 6th ordinary session of the Pan-African Parliament, also known as African Parliament. Although these legislators have their peculiar socio-cultural differences, but their positions on the development of the African region remain homogeneous. The socio-economic advancement of the African continent is one goal they are committed to. A parliamentarian from Ghana, Mohamed Montaka, was skeptic of achieving the desired economic development for Africa without the implementation of the free trade area yet to be ratified by most African countries.
We need to wake up. We are the representatives of the people. As we go back home, we must ensure that our countries ratify this free trade.
As a way forward, members of parliament call for a restructuring of the African Union so as to address issues such as ethnicity, influence of European institutions on the African Union, and the fight against corruption, which the Buhari administration in Nigeria remains a veritable example for other African leaders.
An organization which gets literally most of its funds from other institutions, especially the development partners or the donor communities, cannot function.
These legislators will have to spend the next 14 days here in fashioning out modalities on how to develop the African continent. From South Africa, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Ahead on the news tonight, federal government counsels participants at Open Government Partnership Forum on reliable mechanism for disseminating correct information on Nigeria.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Adam, go and bring us your husband. Okay, hello baby. We're in this together, okay? Can you hear me? Keep coming forward. Wait, stop. You okay, lean to your right. Keep walking down, keep walking to the left. Yes. You're almost here. Keep going. You are here. Wow, you did it.
I'm just so glad I didn't have to use my cane to do this.
And I am so glad no other man got you before me. Let me be your eyes.
We will never stop working to give you a network you can rely on so you can enjoy life's special moments. MTN, everywhere you go.
Hey, Adu.
Hey, Dad.
Look, I got something for you.
A football chassis?
Hey, Adu, come watch a game with your uncle and I.
I'm okay, thanks.
So, Daddy, you showed those blues Pepe yesterday, right?
We sure did.
Those 3 points are sure for us today. The game's about to start. Quick, please.
The smartphone network.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Following years of research and documentation, African Image and Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in partnership with Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, presents Nigerian Sports Book of Records 1884 to 2017. It is the first ever detailed and comprehensive history and achievements of all sports in the country, comprising 300 pages of masterly crafted content. Nigeria Sports Book of Records delivers 133 years of sports memories to sports audiences to complement the development strides of President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration in sports sector. Details of public presentation of the book are as follows. Date 5th June 2018. Venue International Conference Center, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. For sponsorship enquiries, call Quanta on 0803-897-1997 and Angelina on 0805-465-3056. Nigeria Sports Book of Records, a celebration of great sports heroes and heroines.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Welcome back. The federal government has advised participants at the ongoing Open Government Partnership Forum in Abuja to evolve a reliable mechanism for measuring the impact and disseminating information on the true state of things in Nigeria. The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, said this at the forum against the background of alarming statistics released by some international organizations about the state of affairs in Nigeria. Basi Itaikbang reports.
The FGF regretted that many of the institutions that produce figures do not understand the peculiarities of the country, but are hasty to arrive at conclusion, painting a picture that is far from reality.
Efforts such as we have witnessed under this partnership go a long way in reassuring citizens of the commitment of government.
The focus of the OGP is to discuss global development challenges and find new ways to work together towards building a common front.
The idea is that government of Nigeria is saying we are committed to openness, we are committed to transparency, we are committed to citizen engagement. It's all about working with citizens to develop government projects.
It asks what do the citizens need and want from in terms of good governance. It then creates a consultative process where state and non-state actors sit together to look at where the reforms must happen and what the impacts must be.
Open Government Partnership is an international global coalition of reformers from government and civil society working together to make government accountable and transparent to truly serve and empower citizens. Basi Taipang, NTA News.
As the nation counts down to next month's United Nations World Tourism Organization Conference, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed is continuing his promotional visits and engagement with critical stakeholders in the tourism sector. This time, he met with reporters in Lagos. Anthony Forson reports.
Explaining the accruing benefits to Nigeria for hosting the meeting, the Information and Culture Minister said the event puts Nigeria back on the spotlight as a country that has regained global confidence. And so it behoves on everyone to support the federal government to successfully host the meeting.
We are keenly aware that we cannot host a successful UNWTO CAF meeting without you, the journalists and editors of tourism. I'm therefore using this occasion to solicit your support for the success of the 61st meeting of the UNWTO CAF meeting.
As it is usual at occasions like this, to end with questions agitating the minds of the people, the minister responded to some questions this way.
We'll have a taste of the diversity of our culture. Why did we choose Lagos as a technical visit? Because one, it's a good example of how a government can create a enabling environment for the private sector to develop tourism.
The 61st UNWTO CAF meeting is scheduled to hold in Abuja from the 4th through to 6th of June. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The inconclusive All Progressives Congress governorship primary elections in Ekiti State has been cancelled, and a fresh exercise will be conducted on Friday, the 11th of May, 2018, in Ado-Ekiti. National Publicity Secretary of the party, Bolaji Abdullahi, at a media briefing on the outcome of the National Working Committee meeting, says Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura led primary election committee is to continue with the exercise. Salihu Abdullahi reports.
The conduct of some party agents and delegates during the aborted exercise was widely condemned from within and outside the party. The action prompted the primary election committee chairman, Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura of Nasarawa State, to submit a report to justify his decision to put the exercise on hold. Less than 24 hours after receiving the report, National Working Committee of the party met behind closed doors and came out with the following.
All the identified agents that participated in the suspended primary election of 5th of May 2018 are disqualified from participating in the rescheduled primaries as agents or in any other capacity in the rescheduled primaries.
He gives reasons why disciplinary action could not be taken against the aspirants they represent.
Because of the need to ensure fairness, we don't have time. We have to submit the name of a candidate to INEC by 14th of May.
The party also agreed to review the security architecture ahead of the rescheduled exercise, while a new secretary to the committee will be appointed. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The Deputy Governor of Ekiti State, Professor Kolapo Lushola, has emerged the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the 2018 governorship election in Ekiti State. The professor had 1,191 out of the 1,968 valid votes cast to beat Prince Adedayo Adedeye, who scored 770 votes at the primary. Ayodeji Ogunshakin reports that one of the aspirants, Senator Biodun Olujimi, stepped down before the commencement of the exercise. And results of the Ward Congress of the All Progressives Congress held in the 270 wards on Saturday have been released by the party. The Delta State Chairman of the Ward and Local Government Committee, Alhaji Sani Dododo, announced the results at a news briefing at the party's headquarters in Asaba. Austin Edemodu has the details.
The Congress Committee Chairman, Alhaji Sani Dododo, said prior to the Saturday World Congress in the state The secretary of the committee and one other persons disappeared with the Congress materials and results sheets. He, however, said that in spite of the challenges, the committee has decided to collate results across the 270 wards, hence the announcement of the results.
Declaration of Delta State Ward Congress results. I, Alhaji Sani Dodo, Chairman, Delta State Ward and the Local Government Congresses Committee, following the APC guidelines on the conduct of the above Congress, hereby announce the results of the wards in Delta State conducted on the 5th April 2018 as contained in the various local government schedules as attached.
Alhaji Sani Dododo, however, advised aggrieved persons to seek redress at the Congress Appeal Committee. From Asaba and Austin, Edemodu, NTA News.
One of the border communities in Borno State in the Nigeria-Cameroon axis, Banki Town, devastated by Boko Haram insurgency, has received federal government support through the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, IDPs and Stateless Persons. Various materials were distributed to the IDPs by the Federal Commissioner, Sadia Umar Farouk. Naomi Abaku reports.
Banki, which is one of the worst hit communities by Boko Haram insurgency, a border town between the Republic of Cameroon and Nigeria, was part of locations identified for intervention by National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, IDPs and Stateless Persons for intervention.
Brought in sewing machines, grinding machines, and the irrigation pumping machine. And we brought in clothes, healthcare materials, dignity kits, maternity kits, and food items.
Sadia Umar Farouk said President Muhammad Buhari shares in their grief. On behalf of Borno State Government Commissioner of Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, thanked the federal government for the intervention, saying the gesture has rekindled their hope.
As you can see, the people here are happy with the gesture from the President Muhammadu Buhari. From IDP camp in Banki, I am Naomi Aboku, NTA News.
Lagos, the center of excellence, is where we go next, and Michael is set to bring us up to speed on developments in the city.
Thank you, Bimbo, and a warm welcome to Lagos. The Department of Public Prosecution has given approval for the trial of Peter Nelson, a Danish citizen who allegedly killed his wife Zainab, a musician, and his 3-year-old daughter Petra. Presiding Chief Magistrate Yaba Magistrate Court Kike Lomo Ayeye made this known while granting further remand of the Danish citizen in police custody. Vera Chimoba was at the Yaba Magistrate Court and now reports.
On the 5th of April 2018, the people of Lagos woke up to the gory news that a mother and daughter, Zainab Nelson and Petra Nelson, were allegedly murdered in their residence at Banana Island, Lagos. The Lagos State government had, in a statement by the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Adeniji Kazim, said forensic investigation into the matter revealed overwhelming and compelling evidence to the effect that the suspect killed his wife and daughter. The Lagos Magistrate Court, sitting in Yaba, had remanded the 53-year-old Peter Nelson at Ikoyi prison for the offense. He had appeared before the court on 2-count charge, borrowing and murder. The charge was, however, read, but the plea was not taken. The prosecutor, Chief Superintendent Effiong Esokwo, had told the court that the defendant was always at loggerheads with his wife and had hit her head on the wall several times, leading to her death. In addition, proceeded and poisoned his daughter Petra. Esokwo urged the court to remand the defendant in prison custody pending legal advice from the Director of Public Prosecution. The presiding Chief Magistrate, Kike Lomo Ayeye, today granted further remand of the defendant to enable the police and the state file his charges before the State High Court. The offenses are punishable under Section 223 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State. The matter was adjourned to 28th of May. In Lagos, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
Nigerian Customs Service Tinkan Island Command has intercepted and seized containers of 225 milligrams of tramadol and e-waste, which are considered toxic to the environment. Customs Area Controller Baba Abdullahi Musa made this known at a media briefing in Lagos. Paul Umkago has details.
The seizure of containers of tramadol, an addictive drug reportedly abused and harmful to human health, is one of the major breakthroughs by the command. Other seizures include containers of second-hand clothing and used tires.
We have gotten a suspect who is the agent. Through the agent, I'm sure we will get to the importer. It's coming from India. It's the same, I think, the same syndicate working on this. So we are trying to look at the trend again, look at the route, and try to track those who are involved in this.
The comptroller handed over the containers of tramadol to NAFDAC officials for further investigation and prosecution.
We try to investigate the importers or the agents that are involved, but at the end of the day, these drugs are being destroyed.
The Customs Area Controller also disclosed that appreciable progress has been made in the area of export and
agricultural product export amounted to about 38,517 metric tons. The revenue collection for the period under review amounted to the sum of 104.5 billion.
The command has also advanced the ease of doing business in the port, as the 48 hours cargo clearance time has now reduced to 6 hours. In Lagos, Paul Omukago, NTA News.
The Nigerian and China trade relations have received another boost as both countries have signed an agreement to effectively address liquidity issues faced by Nigerian traders and Chinese manufacturers. Abolade Salami in this report takes a look at the economic benefits of the bilateral currency swap between both countries.
The bilateral currency swap agreement is one of the gains of President Muhammadu Buhari's official trip to the world's second biggest economy, China. It is aimed at enhancing trade transactions between both countries without any recourse to the current exchange challenges with the US dollar.
For this swap to be sustainable, some macroeconomic conditions must be in place. First, we must ensure that there is stability of the exchange rate. And we must ensure that we're also not having a subsidized exchange rate. We must ensure that we eliminate the current multiple exchange rates.
Some other benefits envisaged by economic analysts is that payments for Chinese exports will be made easier with the attraction of more foreign direct investments into Nigeria.
Manufacturers who normally import raw materials and machineries from China, we find it much easier. They don't have to go through a third party or a third currency. Because normally, for international trade, what we do currently is that you have to use the dollar as a basis for the transaction. But now, you can now work with between Nigeria and China, Nigerian currency and the Chinese currency.
Financial experts, however, want the federal government to define a specific time frame when imports from China can begin to be produced locally, especially if the country has relative manufacturing advantage for such products. On the whole, the submission is that the currency swap portends great prospects for Nigeria regarding the liquidity challenges often faced by the businessmen from both countries. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports are aired after this timeout. Please stay with us.
Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, brings a new lease of life to Nigerian SMEs. SON has put a greater premium on developing standards aimed at improving the exports of the nation's food and cash crops. This explains why we have developed more standards for Nigeria's produce like sesame, cocoa, garri, and more, courtesy our accredited state-of-the-art laboratories. In keeping with the federal government's ease of doing business, SON has simplified its processes and turnaround time for SUNCAP and MANCAP to reduce substandard products and legal arm to prosecute offenders. Join the Standards Organization of Nigeria in ridding our nation of substandard goods due to consistent market surveillance and raids. See something, say something. The Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
All TVs say picture quality, but never mention the most important color, black. It uncovers the hidden details of nature, brings out the richness in all colors, and reveals life. With self-lighting pixels, only OLED TVs make perfect black, and perfect black creates perfect color. LG OLED TV.
Uh-oh, maybe he's not comfortable in his diaper. New Molfix Comfort Fix Flexible Side Bands offers freedom of movement. Molfix, happy today, happy tomorrow.
Not again. We had the same problem. Try new Molfix.
Molfix absorbs the liquid immediately, even under pressure. Molfix, happy today, happy tomorrow.
Meet Patty for celebrating the high points of life with friends. Selfie. Just the friend that keeps you nourished when you are by yourself. Packed with healthy nutrition, nourishing vitamins, power of protein, strength of calcium, revitalizing energy. Hollandia yogurt is bursting with goodness inside and out. Hollandia yogurt. It's all good.
Give me the value pack. Helen!
You do great value shopping.
Absolutely. I'm a champion at getting value.
Then you must have bought the Harpic 200 ml.
Why Harpic when I have this?
Even after applying them 10 times, they won't give a sparkling clean toilet.
Impossible.
Challenge. Detergent and bleach can't give a sparkling clean toilet even after 10 times. But Harpic 200 ml gives a sparkling clean toilet at one go.
Wow!
Harpic 200 ml. Real deal. Now only 200 Naira.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain. Fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment inaugurates council to promote development of micro, small and medium enterprises in the country as Nigerian Stock Exchange closed on a negative note. Details with Musa Abubakar on Business News.
Hello and welcome to Business News. I am Musa Abubakar. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Aisha Abubakar, has inaugurated the Reform Leaders National Council on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises in Abuja. Aisha Abubakar said that the group is put in place in order to proffer solutions to the various challenges confronting SMEs in Nigeria with a view to putting those problems to rest, enjoining members to carry out the assignment expeditiously, emphasizing the need to work closely with the SMEs in order to get right solutions to any difficulty.
For the micro, small and medium enterprises, we need to find a tool to communicate this, to make life much easier for them.
The equities market saw the second day of trading recorded marginal loss of 0.04% to close at 41,155.80 basis points, while market capitalization stood at 14.9 trillion naira. 563 million shares exchanged hands among investors in 4,217 deals valued at 5.7 billion naira. Financial institutions were the most traded stocks, namely FCMB Group PLC, Guarantee Trust Bank, and Zenith Bank were the most traded stocks. Stock Market Report concludes business news for this hour. Good evening.
An ultra-modern secretariat built by the Borno State chapter of the National Union of Road Transport Workers has been inaugurated. Pauline Kujevana reports that the secretariat is named after Governor Kashim Shettima in recognition of his commitment to industrial harmony in the state.
The Secretariat complex is the first of its kind to be built by the NURTW in Borno in the post-insurgency recovery effort under the presidency of Najim Usman Yassin. Representative of the Borno State Governor, his deputy Usman Mamandirkwa, acknowledged the contributions of the NURTW and NLC during the critical period of the insurgency. President NLC, Comrade Ayuba Waba, and that of NURTW, who is also the Deputy President Organized Labor, Najim Usman Yassin, commended the state government for being supportive to the overall labor movement and the transport union.
It's something that have lifted their spirit, but it's something also that have great improvement on the quality of their lives, but importantly also on businesses within and around the Northeast.
We have supported them in any way we feel we can be able, and we continue supporting our members in Borno State.
Chairman NURTW Comrade Bello Mohamed Maduganari and NLC Borno State Comrade Titus Ali Abana lauded the state government commitment to the unions and identified key areas for intervention in the transport sector. The NURTW president presented official vehicles to the chairman and secretary of the Borno State chapter, in addition to receiving some sections of Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria and commercial tricycle operators in alliance with the union. In Maiduguri, Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
Nigeria immigration goes tough on erring foreign nationals. Mariam in Jos has details of this and more.
Hello, good evening. You're welcome to Jos. The Nigerian Immigration Service Plateau State Command is demanding a comprehensive list of all ECOWAS citizens and other foreign nationals resident and doing business in any part of Plateau State. This, the Comptroller, Josephine Kwazu, said is to ascertain the exact number, location and activities they are engaged in line with the expatriate quota. Ashezi Gopep reports.
The controller, while intimating stakeholders on innovations in the service, expressed displeasure on lack of compliance by some companies and nationals, saying the changes are in compliance with the Presidential Executive Order 1.
From the list at my disposal, I want to point out that some of you are not up to date in your returns, and some of you are not even giving us returns. More so, some are not even registered with us.
The immigration boss in the state commended stakeholders on the cordial relationship so far enjoyed, which she described as beneficial to both parties, said there is room for improvement.
Companies on expatriate quota working in Plateau State should have by now opened up business files, process their facilities with us, and also render monthly returns as appropriate with attached approved quota positions.
Participants and officers raised questions and profiled suggestions on the way forward, considering the present security challenges in the country.
Interacting with immigration on a regular basis, will help us who are stakeholders in the immigration service to, render better services to our clients.
Participants at the meeting are drawn from the missions, churches, companies, bakeries, and other agencies. In Jos, Ashezi Gupep, NTA News.
A 2-week training workshop on effects and mitigation of global warming, desertification and political conflicts in West and Central Africa is ongoing in Jos. It is organized by the Postgraduate Leadership Training and Research Institute of the University of Abuja in collaboration with the Citizenship and Leadership Training Center, Sherry Hills, Jos. Ijoma Ozemena has more.
The research training is designed to instill in the students desirable values of leadership in policy formulation and implementation of programs that will promote unity as well as symbiotic relationship among various social groups in Nigeria and West Africa. State Governor represented that natural and man-made disasters have created a need for movement of people from one location to another.
The spirit of killing, wanton destruction of properties and disruption of economic activities associated with farmers-herders conflict have left the country with humanitarian crisis that increasingly becoming hard to manage.
Vice Chancellor, University of Abuja, Professor Michael Adiku, and Director, Apudi, Institute for Peace Studies and Social Rehabilitation, Professor Danladi Atu, said the training will provide tactical leadership in teamwork and peace building.
People who live in Sahara are facing desertification, and as human beings, movement becomes necessary.
As leaders, we should engage them in practical leadership training and problem solving.
Director General of Citizens and Leadership Training Center, Mr. Joe Nabawa, said the team could not have come at a better time than now, considering the escalating clashes between farmers, especially in the belt region of the country. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
That's a wrap from Jos. We hand you over to Chigonu Aru in our Enugu Network Center for stories making the round in that zone. Good evening.
Good evening, Mariam, and welcome to Enugu. The Federal Ministry of Science and Technology has trained 60 artisans and technicians in various skills in line with the nation's drive towards technological advancement. The while declaring the 2 weeks training for Ebonyi State indigents closed, expressed optimism that the program will yield the desired results in the nearest future. Susan Eze was there.
Done with the 2 weeks intensive training on various skill trades, the trainees received their starter packs. They were grateful for the rare opportunity and demonstrated the skills they have learned.
And from the solar charge controller, you now connect to the battery so that whatever you get from the panel, it will be saved in the battery there. Where it is needed, the inverter system will be able to transmit it.
The minister, represented by the Managing Director, Scientific Equipment Development Institute, SEDI, Enugu, Professor Samuel Ndubisi, maintained that what Nigeria needs to grow technologically is to equip the youths with necessary skills.
Is to empower the youths, empowering them by giving them skill so that they can produce products and sell. So it's going to reduce unemployment.
The program was facilitated through the 3 implementing institutes, the SEDI, Enugu, which coordinated the welding and fabrication workshop, the National Engineering Design Development Institute, NERI, which took care of the electrical installations, and the Electronic Development Institute, OCA, which coordinated the solar inverter systems installation. They promised to follow up the participants to help them overcome teething problems as they grow in entrepreneurship. From Abakaliki, Susan Eze, NTA News.
Large-scale extraction of streambed materials, mining and dredging in Umuagba River in Aba, as alleged by residents, poses serious danger on the people and the environment. Benson Osadebe, just back from the site, reports on the need for government intervention towards formulating policies that will regulate sand and mining activities in the area.
Of sand manifold higher than natural replenishment leads to severe damages to the river systems. The mining process not only intercepts movement of sediments along the river channels, but disturbs the sediment balance established in the system over the geological period. Research shows that indiscriminate sand mining imposes severe adverse effects on the various environmental subcomponents of the river ecosystem, like bed forms, water quality and quantity, flora and fauna, and socioeconomic conditions of the people within the area. The road to the site poses serious danger to both drivers and truck owners, But the mind-boggling one is the artificial gully at the center of Umoga farmland.
I think government should have plan. Understand, before they give anybody any title of putting treasure in some place like this, they should see the environment first. It's not if this person come, they give that person a space. It's polluting the land.
Efforts to speak to authorities concerned proved abortive.
Sand mining has been one of the major causes of environmental problems here in Umoga Road, Aba. Its impact ranges from collapsing river banks to habitat destruction. A critical look shows total lack of environmental impact assessments on the part of government, of which the operators are calling on the government to come for a synergy between them. In Aba, Benson Osadebe, NTA News.
That wraps it up from Enugu. Over now to you, Bimbo, for more on the news. Good evening.
Many thanks, Chegonu. And some happenings in the world of sports after this timeout. Do stay tuned.
The dangers of drug abuse, an emerging trend that necessitates ban on codeine syrup, is the focus this week on NTA Tuesday Live. The program promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
The smartphone network. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the daring and invincible Louis the Mosquito. Responsible for 200 malaria cases all on its own. Is there anything that can kill Louis? Morphine! Presenting Mortine Power Guard. Its powerful formula kills malaria mosquitoes fast. So, get Mortine Power Guard.
Now, Kene Emabudike has sports update.
Nigeria